how do you run your business as far as like on a unit by unit level of like, how do you price it? Do you have a way of then subtracting your Amazon fees, your FBA fees, your advertising fees, your cost of goods sold, your returns? Like, do you have a unit way of actually calculating your profitability?
Yes, the answer is yes. So we have an app. We have an app that we use that gives us that data. And what we do is on a regular interval, we review the products that are sold. So our top 20, we do this deep dive on. And what we do is look at how much each unit is attributing to profit. So after fees, so after ads, after returns and all of that, how much money is this making? And then it's for all those top 20. And we could go through all of the listings and we get that. But our focus is on the top 20 merely because they drive the revenue. I mean, SKUs 21 through 1500 aren't selling at the same rate as 1 through 20, right? And so we can then apply those types of learnings because a lot of products are similar in nature, right? They're not the exact, they're different manufacturers. So, but we can apply a lot of learnings to essentially groups 22 all the way down to 2000. But yes, we get the information on the app. We look at it. We're able to see on a per unit basis what it's generating in terms of profit. And then we could decide, you know what, product number 20 right now, it's generating a lot of profit, low volume. And again, how do we get this one at 20 to jump up to 10? Should we throw more ads? Let's look at how much ad spend has been on this one. Oh yeah, we didn't spend a lot compared to number one, number two. So then, as I said earlier, ads and keywords. How do we boost it? We got to put ads, but how do we do that intelligently? Now, you can have an agency do that for you, and I haven't found one that's really worked for our needs. So how do I throw good keywords at the ads that we have or create?
I think I was gonna say, I think that's a super interesting example. It's like, okay, not a lot of volume, but our margins are really high, right? Now, as an Amazon seller, like you've got options. You're like, okay, I want to increase my volume. Do I throw more money at ads and maintain high margins? Or do I actually reduce the price some and then that'll drive more volume and I keep my ad spend the same? Like, do you just typically follow your gut on that, or do you have any data points to make those type of deep level decisions?
Gut plus research equals winners, right?
Yeah.
And I would maybe throw in a little bit of experience. I'll give you an example of a product. So we have an accessory where there are multiple sellers, not just on Amazon, but off Amazon, that sell the exact same product. Our price on Amazon is by far one of the highest for this accessory that's under $25. Some other sellers on Google have it for like 15, 10 even, $10, $12. We're at $23 on this accessory. And we've had to increase our price multiple times because we were running out. And we kept it up. And instead of rolling it back, once we figured out, okay, this is how much we need. And so you can go against the grain when you raise prices some of the time. And what I think you have to do in order to feed that and try to exploit that is in this product, what we did was we changed how we showed the main image of this product. Everybody was showing the exact one or two images in the same angle. So if you are on Amazon and you type in this product that you're searching for, you're going to see, first, you got to show up on page one. If you're on page two, forget about it. This doesn't even matter talking about it. You got to be on page one. And then if you're on page one, all of these products show up and they all look the same. Ours all of a sudden looks bigger, different angle. You can clearly see the markings, like the certification markings on it. And so now people have more confidence, and this is my theory, people have more confidence, especially on something that looks very similar to everything else, if what I'm going to get is exactly what I see right there, and I could see it in a way that's presented a little better than everybody else that's on page one. And that's what's allowed us to sell this particular product above everybody else in terms of pricing. So it goes against the grain. And so now, how do I do that every time? That's the hard part.
Yeah.
How can, because it doesn't always work out. But you can.
I was gonna say, I love that you threw another variable in there, because before we were talking about, okay, price or more ad spend, and then you were like, well, what about quantity? If I know I'm going to run out, I'm going to raise the price, because like profit is king. Like you want to make those decisions that drive bottom line profit, and sometimes that's a multiplication of quantity plus your dollar profit margin. But then if you're running out of inventory and you're going to run out, then that's a whole nother thing where it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to increase the price. If I had infinite inventory, I wouldn't be doing this. This is a bad decision. But because I know I only have this much inventory, I'm going to sell out regardless. I want to make as much profit on the inventory as I can. So like, there's just so much data that's needed to drive all these decisions. And to your point earlier, it's like, there's no way you can analyze this. You need those smart alerts of like, hey, FYI, on the back end, we analyzed your data. We think you need to do this. Look into it.
And you know what? Specifically on inventory, I've been trying to work on a working theory about that, and I heard somebody else recently that confirmed what I was thinking, which is there's something in whether it's the algorithm or the way Amazon works, where if you run out of inventory, you will be punished by Amazon more than just about anything else that you can't control a lot on Amazon, right? There's limited things but you can control what's in inventory. And in those two separate cases, the one I just gave you, where we raised the price and had more inventory available, and then in another instance where we were on some other listing competing against 40 other sellers on one listing, we saw over time, slowly, over time, our share of sales on that listing increased, and only because we were able to keep inventory in stock at FBA on that listing, because we hadn't changed our price. The competition on that, I mean, there were huge fluctuations from the bottom to the top in terms of pricing, but just having something in stock, our share of sales went from like 0.1 to 0.4, and that alone was like, oh, something's happened. And then 0.5, and then 1.0, and then 1.3. So then what's happening back there that Amazon's rewarding you for having inventory? And it's having inventory available. It's like having a misbehaved kid. That's the only way I could explain it. Misbehaved kid, you're going to put them in timeout. And then when you do get stuff back in stock, after you run out, it is not just you pick up where you left off. It's a hard, long climb, because again, Amazon's put you kind of in a virtual timeout because you're in punishment. You're in the doghouse.
They're rewarding those who are good at their inventory management and staying ahead of this, which kind of goes back to that alert that we talked about last week, which is that idea of like a very complex algorithm of like you're running out, like that, finding that reorder point.